I just introduced Dr. Vidya. She's a practicing anesthesiologist in Panvel and Navi Mumbai and has been with Wealthcon right from the inception.
Sorry to disturb you. I am practicing obstetrician and gynecologist in Panvel. I am not sure from where you got that information.
Okay. Sorry for that then.
That's okay. I will start. Myself, Dr. Vidya Jadhav. I am a practicing obstetrician and gynecologist in Panvel, proud Wealthconian and Healthconian, having interest in trekking and running. First of all, I thank Dr. Ram sir for giving me the credibility to talk on this very tricky topic of HUF. Thank you, Dr. Nitin sir and AFG for giving this opportunity, and many seniors from Wealthcon are there. So thank you to them also for giving us knowledge daily in groups and in many conferences. Today's topic is HUF for doctors and in India. As many of us can understand, this is quite a tricky and different entity. I myself got aware of it few years back only. And what is this HUF? It is Hindu Undivided Family under Hindu law and income tax law. It is a separate taxable entity with its own PAN card. Includes Hindus, Jain, Sikh and Buddhist. Not only the Hindu, that is the point to be understood. It do have a separate bank account and it needs separate ITR filing. So why this HUF is important for us as a doctor? As many of us know that almost all of us fall in higher tax bracket, more than 30%. And as in the morning session, Nitin sir told that it is better to have different PAN card to reduce your tax amount. And this is one of the better legal way to save your tax. By HUF, you can have multiple income sources. Being a doctor, we can have our clinic or the renting the instrument or the other investment can be done on that PAN card, and that's why we should be aware of it. It provides separate slab benefit. The initial 4 lakhs is exempted from the tax like any other individual, and also if you are more than 30% category, the amount which is surplus more than that 30% can be adjusted with the HUF, and that can make us to give lesser tax. Also, it helps in structured family wealth planning. Now, little bit anatomy of the HUF. Like, who are the participant of the HUF? There is first Karta, that is the head of the HUF. Till 2005, it was the only male was allowed to be a Karta. After 2005, a female can also be a Karta with asterisks. There are some specific conditions where female can be a Karta. There is something called as co-parceners. Those are the sons and daughters of the Karta, those who have got birthrights, like they are born in that family from the Karta. Grandchildren of that Karta person, and the members, something members, those are the wives of the Karta or the wives of the sons and mother of a Karta. Now this is little tricky. Can female become a Karta? Yes, if she is the senior most co-parcener alive in that HUF category. Okay? Husband being alive does not disqualify her to be a member of her father's HUF. Okay? Wife cannot become Karta merely by a marriage. Means if I married to my husband's family, I cannot be Karta of that family. But I can be a Karta of my HUF of my father if there is no adult co-parcener available. Widow can act only if no adult co-parcener exists. Now, how do we create this HUF? There is a first step of drafting HUF deed. HUF deed is not, has to be always registered one. It is not mandatory, but it is always a good option to have proper documentation because it strengthens your legal standing in some specific situations, like if you want to transfer your HUF or the immovable property to HUF, or there is a partition or a separation, then having registered deed is will give you a good stand. Then third step is we have to apply for the PAN card. It is an individual different PAN card apart from your own PAN card. Then open a bank account as like any person And the last is maintain books and documentation, and then you are ready to use that HUF. Now the major concern or the major point is, how do we create the initial corpus for the HUF? Since morning we have heard about the gift from relatives. Here also gift from relatives is the major source of income for the at least initial corpus, and the term relative has to be understood very specifically in relation to the HUF. Relatives are the member of the HUF family, what we heard in a slide of the anatomy. That gift is, there is no limit for the taxation purpose for the gift from the relative. But mind it, if it is non-relative person, then altogether cumulatively up to 50,000 is without the tax. The second source is inheritance or the will. If one person is getting something in a will from the family tree, HUF can have that income as through the inheritance. Ancestral property can be transferred to the HUF account. Family settlement or the partition of your father's or the grandfather's HUF can also give you an initial corpus. Loan from bank, loan against your property or house loan or the business loan can be taken for HUF through the bank. The important and the most legal way or the most safe way, I would say, is the loan from the members of the HUF, where you can make a proper documentation that I am giving loan to the my HUF. Whoever is the karta or the whoever is the member, they can loan to your own HUF in unlimited amount. It is always better than gift because it is more legal. And gift from non-relative, as I told you, we can have a gift from non-relative person, but there is cumulative limit of only 50,000. More than that you can have, but then there will be a taxable amount that will be the counted in a tax. Now why, like what is the need of doing all these things? Because as we understood in the morning, we get one more PAN card. So we can, that is different entity, and we can have more income from that by doing all these businesses. As we all are medico, mostly we are gynec here today. So we can have a simple example of buying one instrument. Like if someone is planning to buy a laparoscopic set, then we can do in one way, traditional way, buy on our own account and use it. But that may increase your income as well as the tax. And to reduce that, we can have a laparoscopic set bought by our HUF, and that we can rent to ourselves. So we get both benefit. The income of the rent will be not in our account, where we may be taxable more than 30%. Second, that can be the expense for your own income tax calculation, that I am giving rent to the HUF. So that is the best way for any instrument buying for the doctor. Other medical related businesses like a pharmacy business, for the optical shop, vaccinations for the case of pediatrician, or for that matter any family business which you are running, that can be run in under name of the HUF. Trading in a debt instrument is also a very good way of earning the money by doing the HUF. Rent from the HUF property. If any property you are getting in a HUF, you can have a rent and keep on doing that business in under the name of HUF. Doing FDs and mutual fund through HUF, you can have an interest of that, and that can be again one of the source of the getting business. And capital gain. So these are the various sources where if you do that in your own account, will give you more tax. You can transfer those businesses on the name of HUF and get that income with the less tax slab, or for that matter initial 4 lakhs without a tax or tax exemption. But having these things have little bit, one has to take little practical cautions about this, and to have a balanced approach of using HUF. How? There is very important and underlying thing that you cannot show your professional income as a HUF income. What does that mean? Nitin sir do the laparoscopic surgery. Can he show his surgery cost as a HUF? No, it is the Nitin sir is doing that, not the HUF of the Nitin sir is doing that, and that's why your own professional income cannot be shown in the HUF. Second point, as I mentioned earlier, prefer loan or the gift from the members. For the, it is more correct or more important for the creating initial corpus. Like you can gift to your HUF. A member also can gift to the HUF. But then the clubbing will be added to that. And that's why we need to have a proper loan, and loan can be taken from any member or any person from the HUF family. And that's why that will become a more legal way of getting more corpus. The little bit precaution, or you have to be cautious if you want to make HUF partner in your firm or for any business. You can do that, but that can be little tricky, because sometimes when the business is to be dissolved, at that time it may increase your job of legally to make it little bit clear. Loan principal is not an expense, but interest is. This sentence is very much important, and one has to understand it, that if I get a loan for my HUF, then that is not my expense, okay? But if I have to pay the interest on that loan, what does that mean? Being a karta, if I am getting some loan from one of the member, I have to return that loan as like any other loan, and I am paying extra interest as per the whatever routine charges are going on. That interest can be expense of my income, and that is why we get benefited there also. Avoid cash transaction, use bank channel. It is one of the way of saving your tax, but as all Wealthconian will approve or understand, that we want to save the tax with peace and not with the more headache. So always for the HUF, it is better to have all the transaction through the bank and not the cash transaction, because that will attract little less attention from the income tax department. These are the few latest legal and tax aspect of the HUF. It is separate taxable entity. ITR is mandatory as any like other person as per the income, whatever income you get. Slab rate for HUF are same like individuals. It is eligible for deductions under ATC, ATD as like any old regime, tax regime. Tax audit is also applicable to HUF if turnover exceed the limit. And due dates of filing the tax for the HUF are like 31st July if there is no audit, and 31st October if there is a audit. Now another little bit confusing topic is who is relative to the HUF. I mean, can anyone be the relative of my HUF? The tax perspective way we will see it. Relative for HUF means any member of that HUF as per the section 56(2). Wife or any member can gift to HUF and it is tax exempt, but income generated from it is a taxable. Clubbing is applied. What does that mean? If I get some amount as a gift, then that is not taxable. But if I use that money for having new business and I earn money from that, that earning is taxable. If I spend that or if I use it for the expenses, then that is not taxable. Wife's parent are not member, okay? Wife of Karta is a member, but parents of the wife cannot be the relative and they are not member. And that's why if they give us gift for the HUF, as per the rule, total cumulative amount of 50,000 is exempted from the tax, but not more than that. Members can be son, daughter, co-parceners. Co-parceners are the anyone who have a birthright. So that can be a grandchildren also, or the widow of the co-parcener. The important point regarding the widow or the co-parcener is she can act as a karta till any co-parcener become adult or the not minor. Till then she can become a karta. So in conclusion, what is the take home message? HUF is very much legal, wealth structuring tool, can be used to save your tax, more so for those persons who are more than 30% and still have a surplus amount of the income. We can transfer that to the HUF in a legal way and get peaceful exemption from the tax. It is best for the rental, investment and the business income. As we are talking about the investment and the finance today, investment in the form of equity, in the debt or the equity, all those things can be done through HUF also. But the only thing is that if that income also goes more than 30% surplus, I mean you become 30% more than category of the 30% tax, then the benefits start reducing. It is as equal to like you are keeping that in your own account. avoid using it for the professional receipts. What does that mean? As I told you, being a surgeon, being a doctor, if we earn because of our surgery or our professional fees, we cannot show it in HUF. Same way, the salaried person or the income is only from the salary, again that may not be the use to show the salary in the HUF. Keep structure compliant and the documented. We want profit or the tax saving with the peace and not with the more headache, and that's why be good at the documentation of each and everything, and that will help you to get maximum benefit of the HUF. Thank you everyone. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, but I couldn't get that GR. Suppose I am the Karta of an HUF, and for some reason I am no more. Can my wife remain Karta even if my son is added?
No. Only co-parsoner can be a Karta. The only thing is that it has to be major. So wife is not a co-parsoner in husband's HUF, but she can be a co-parsoner in her father's HUF.
And suppose now my daughter becomes a Karta after me, and we have an immovable property on the name of HUF. So whether my daughter's husband can have legal rights in that property?
No.
Can I ask one more question? Yeah. Here. Vidya, it's here. Yeah. So Vidya, my clinic account is my husband's name, and he is Karta. And my all clinic, whatever consultation charges, everything, I collect on that scanning code. So is it correct? Because you said professional, you cannot do it.
Madam, your surgeon fees which you get.
Sorry?
If you are a surgeon and you are earning surgery income, like
But I'm consulting in the clinic, that is also my earning, right?
Yeah, consultation is also your income. Okay, so that cannot be HUF's income if you are asking for that. No,
but,
that cannot be the HUF's income. You have to use, HUF can earn income in all other way, but not by your professional excellency. Like if you give consultation to a patient, you earn some money. It cannot be the income for the HUF. Per se, your HUF is on the name of your husband, right? Your husband is a Karta for
Yeah,
your
he is a
HUF.
Karta, yeah.
So, no, your income cannot be the HUF's income.
So what comes in the HUF as a income?
I told you, HUF, if
members.
your husband, like your family has created a HUF, okay, there is different entity. If, let us say you have a pharmacy, now your clinic's pharmacy can be run on the name of HUF. And whatever the profit is there through the pharmacy, that can be the income of your HUF. Second way, you can have agency of supplying laborers, like we need maushis and sisters and all those things. So that HUF can have a business of agency, like supplying this manpower, and the income through that business can become to your HUF.
So if I'm paying the distributors, what stuff I get in the clinic, that can be done through HUF?
Sorry, I did not.
Like if I order some medicine or some other fertility drugs, everything, and if I have to make the payment for the distributor who has supplied that thing, so that payment, can it go from HUF?
If you are doing it through HUF, then yes, you are showing it as a different business of the pharmacy, na? So then you can do it.
Ma'am, two questions. Madam, yeah. If less than 30% bracket is there, is this HUF needed? And what is the side effect of HUF? Means, what can go wrong with HUF?
Sir, I would say there is no side effect if properly documentation and you do it in a legal territory. But there can be little worrisome or cautious steps that you have to take. First, HUF is quite been given extra attention by income tax department. If you try and put your personal income, being a doctor, into the HUF, like you try and do the jugod of putting your extra income in that, like as I told you, professional income, that will attract clubbing effect. Clubbing effect in the sense, anyway it is your income, HUF cannot earn through the mentioned sources apart from any other source, and then that will be taxable. Second, when you have separation, or for that matter, you get your son married and the daughter-in-law comes, or any new member is trying to come, at that time you have to either close the HUF, or you have to be very much clear about putting major properties under the name of HUF, so that there will be no clashes of that property. So these are the few things which you need to be cautious about when you have a HUF. But as such, there is no side effect of the HUF.
Side effects in the sense you should not buy a property in HUF.
Okay.
That will create a lot of Mahabharat in the family.
Yeah, that will be a reason for major dispute.
Okay, and if at all our slab tax rate is not above 30, is less than 30, is HUF needed?
Still it is okay, because if
It will help in taxation.
if you are in a 20% tax bracket and you have extra surplus amount 4 lakhs, you are getting tax benefit by, there is no taxation till first 4 lakhs. If it is earned under the HUF, then you will have a zero tax, where you will pay that as a 20% if you keep in your account. No?
Ma'am, initially it was said that to open an HUF account, you need gift from a father or mother of the Karta. Is the rule the same, or can the wife, who also becomes a part of the HUF, can give gift or loan the way you just mentioned?
Ma'am, I explained. For the HUF, like first, if your husband create a HUF, being his wife, you can give to the HUF.
Okay.
But that gift will be like taxed, as it will attract the clubbing benefit. And that's why what you can do is, you can give loan to the HUF. So you are doing it in a legal way. Obviously, it has to be with the market rate and proper documentation, and that will be the more safer.
Okay. And ma'am, is there an entity called interest-free loan that can be taken from a relative, where they can return back the loan amount but without interest? Is this valid or
It
legal?
is said that is there any other agency or bank who will give you interest-free loan?
No, only the
So
relative.
so that is not allowed. That again, it has to be with the normal
Within
norms.
the norms,
It should
okay.
not attract the suspicion from
See,
the
you have to be
income
smart
tax.
enough. You know, income tax department is watching you. As soon as you open HUF, matlab ye tax
First
chori
thing,
karne
you
ke liye
will
kar
get
raha hai.
the more attention.
It's
to
legal
your
entity
HUF.
for official tax चोरी. सीधा उनको समझता है तुम टैक्स चोरी के लिए ये HUF खोला है. ओके, सो यू फाइंड आउट द लीगल वे. अगर आपने गिफ्ट किया उसमें इनकम जनरेट हुआ, देन दैट इनकम विल बी क्लब. Okay, so you have to take a loan, pay the interest, and do it in an official channel. Only that is the way out. जैसे HUF खोला, you are at the radar of income tax. मेरा HUF नहीं है अभी तक.
They will
मेरा
look
CA is
it-
not allowing. बोले टैक्स भर चुपचाप. नहीं तो काम कम करो. हाँ? I have to change the CA.
No, yeah.
I have to change.
The CA tells us no because of what Madam said. The moment your children get married and lineage, then your asset value of that investment in HUF gets diluted. But अगर तेरे लौंडे को कोई पटा रहे तो उसको उतना डिजर्व होता है यार भाई, दे दे उतना.
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ ना, land means if you buy property, घर में महाभारत होगा.
नहीं, but that
So avoid property in
see,
HUF.
over the years HUF has been utilized to great benefit by regularly upgrading the property. So you buy a small property and then you buy a bigger property. इसमें आपने जब खरीदा आपने 60 लाख का लिया, बेचा आपने जो किया वो डिफरेंस आ जाता है. But then there is a huge amount of, you know, I'm not saying that, we are being recorded. ठीक है, so हम AMC वाले हम लोग ऐसा कुछ बोलते नहीं लाइफ में. So you can escalate that and then ultimately you can buy that asset. So like what madam had done, कि वो क्लिनिक हॉस्पिटल बना दिया. लेकिन अगर हॉस्पिटल का इनकम स्लैब 30 के ऊपर हो गया तो उसका बेनिफिट चला गया ना. So benefit ही चला गया ना. So it is only to maintain that tax benefit of that small amount. But when Nitin starts earning, he doesn't require that small tax benefit. 2-4 लाख तो चिल्लर में चला जाता है. तो उतना तो बिल देखता भी नहीं किसने रेफर में भेजा है कि नहीं. So for him it is not valid. But if you have your name, your partner's name, your child's name, your parents' name, your HUF, you have so many different entities on which you can create a separate file, and then for every file the tax slab rate के हिसाब से you can gain. That's the whole idea. But you have to always remember that only the co-partners can be shareholder of that particular assets. But the partners of the co-partners have the right to stay in that asset. Hence the property the CA says no.
Right to partition.
Hello. So about this Mahabharat thing, there is one advice that Ram sir had given at the very initial when I started my HUF. He was teaching this, that at the time of your son's marriage, what happens is your daughter-in-law, she enters your HUF, and after that she also has a right on all this HUF property. So to avoid Mahabharat, what you can do is, at the time of your son's marriage, dissolve the HUF, distribute the assets to your sons, daughters, and those.
Sir, is it not possible that instead of dissolving the HUF, some member of the HUF can voluntarily relinquish his rights and then start his own? ऐसा नहीं होता. You have to dissolve the HUF.
Even when the son makes his own HUF, after marriage the son will have another HUF, but he continues to remain a part of the father's HUF.
But
and
by choice, if they want to leave, it is not. You have to dissolve.
I don't think that is.
so, that
I am not
option
sure, but I don't think that
The
is.
definition of co-partner
Yes,
is genes,
yes.
genes related. And that gene relation is going to continue. Huh?
Male lineage.
Male lineage or female भी है ना? If
But
she
females are your
is
son-in-law
co-partner in her
doesn't.
family. She is
yes.
co-partner in her family, not in his husband family. हाँ, so she can claim there. हाँ, तो वही हो गया. Means gene related.
Son-in-law doesn't enter your HUF. Daughter-in-law enters
Now
your
remain
HUF. That is what I
let's
am
keep
saying.
for the homework. Few more exciting things coming up. Thank you, Vidya.
Thank you, sir.
We all are.
I want to thank Dr. Nachiket. He has given me a lots of input for making this
By the way,
PPT.
Nachiket and Vidya are husband and wife. We all are partner in crime. Our crime is trekking. We are all have done EBC together. Yes. So thank you for being there. We can proceed.
Yeah. Thank you, the chairpersons. I like to invite the chairpersons to felicitate our speakers, Dr. Vidya and Dr. Balkrishna Nagargoje, sir.
Jayanti madam, you can join.
हाँ हो गया सर सिर्फ यही बचे सर
I'll also join. Huh?
Yeah. Join for the photograph, madam. Go. Dr. Vidya. I request Nitin Shah sir and Jayanti madam to felicitate our chairpersons. Dr. Nikita Kothari madam, Dr. Ashlisha Sankhe madam and Dr. Lalita Maide madam. Thank you so much. Now we'll move ahead with the next session. I'd like to request our chairpersons Dr. Gauri Sultane and Dr. Niranjan Maidev sir. Dr. Gauri Sultane, she is senior fertility and IVF specialist and owner of her own IVF center Desire at Malad West and also award of Wealthcon since last 3 years. Welcome Gauri. And Dr. Niranjan Maidev sir, he is former professor and head of the department of GS Medical College and KEM and former principal investigator of ICMR HRRC. Welcome sir. Please introduce our next speaker, Dr. Parul Shah madam. WhatsApp केले sir.
Dr. Parul Shah, she's a consultant gynecologist and laparoscopic surgeon at Karuna and Suvarna hospitals at Borivali and Sanjeevani Hospital at Kandivali. Yes, madam, you can have your talk.
Thank you,
topic
sir.
on
Thank
the
you,
insurance
sir.
and everything.
Thank you. So after this excellent discussion on HUF, which people didn't want to leave, I'm going to discuss a little bit about logistics. This is very simple and very easy topic. So I'm really great.
Focus on this. Especially, I requested Parul to make this PPT because during our G10 meeting, she presented very nicely how to make the SIP basket. So if you can learn this right here and go back, and from tomorrow, if you can start SIP, I think the purpose is served for the today day. So please focus here.
Yeah. So I'm really grateful to my finance gurus, Dr. Ram sir, the founder of Wealthcon, and Dr. Ashima Malik, who introduced me to Wealthcon, and all the guides and their words of wisdom. So I'm going to demonstrate creation of a basket in Zerodha. Now why Zerodha? I'm not getting any incentive from Zerodha. You can choose any discount broker, but for me Zerodha is very easy and it's a very easy interface on the mobile, and I have shifted my investments from banks and from agents completely to Zerodha because it is much more profitable. What is a SIP? Everybody knows it's a systematic investment plan, and it starts like a drop in the ocean, but it teaches us disciplined savings, and by staying invested over a long term, we also benefit from the power of compounding. And we don't really need to depend on market, we have to do this investment every month. So Ram sir says that we all should have 3 bank accounts. One account in which the money comes in, the second account which we use for all our expense, and the third account through which we do our investments, which is linked to our demat account. So many of us at Wealthcon transfer 25% of our earnings every month into the demat account, and from that we regularly buy stocks and ETFs. And whatever money remains, which we have not spent by the end of that month, and whatever surplus money we generate in that month, we keep it separately in liquid funds or arbitrage funds, and then we buy whenever the market goes down and the stocks become cheaper. That is what we discussed as dip buying. This video has to play.
First, we have to create a basket.
मेरे लैपटॉप में है. It's just going to show you the video. नहीं, ये bank mandate नहीं. Video. I've actually got a screen. हाँ है.
How to create a basket for SIP in Zerodha.
I've got a recorded video of how to make the basket.
A basket in Zerodha is a
रहने दो. हाँ है, साउंड भी है. अरे क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? हाँ, किधर से play करो?
So what we do is, अभी play करो.
हाँ, हाँ,
चलेगा.
ठीक है.
This format will continue.
Correct.
चलेगा.
So this is the video which will tell us how to invest. Start with the basket. आवाज क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? आवाज है इसमें. ठीक है. So this is the. हाँ नहीं बढ़ रहा है.
वीडियो चल रहा है, आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा है ना?
बढ़ रहा है ना.
इसमें रिकॉर्डेड है क्या डाउनलोडेड?
देखते हैं.
This, what we are seeing on the screen, is the home page of Zerodha. I will now click on orders. Then we will click on baskets. Then we will click on new basket. Then we will have to name this basket. I'm going to name it ETF. And we are going to click on create. As I said, we can add up
नहीं
to
आ रहा है
20
पॉज कर
stocks.
दे इसको उधर से ही करके
We have to click on market order and long term over here. Skip. First, we have to create a basket. How to create a basket for SIP in Zerodha? First, we have to create a basket. So what exactly is a basket? A basket order in Zerodha is a way to place multiple orders at one time, and this basket is then saved on Zerodha for future use. We can include up to 20 orders in a single basket. This, what we are seeing the screen, is the home page of Zerodha. I will now click on orders, then we will click on baskets, then we will click on new basket. Then we will have to name this basket. I'm going to name it ETF and it's in one basket. First, let us try to search for Nifty Bees.
ठीक है इधर ही डेमोन्स्ट्रेट कर देते हैं
So we then add Nifty Bees. We have to click on the market order and long term over here, and we'll place a quantity over here. We'll place, say, 10 Nifty Bees, which will tell us the amount is required amount is 2,859. We will add. We'll then click on gold bees. We'll have to first search for it. And then we'll have to mention the quantity. And then we have to let it stay as a market order. And then we'll click on add. Now we will add junior bees. We can add, say, 5 junior bees, again as a market order. We can also add silver bees. Now once we have added this, we have a basket with 4 orders ready. We will then click on execute, and we will click on yes, and we will click on close. So the basket is now created. It shows us the number of items and the date when we have created it. Now let us create a SIP for this basket. We will click on SIP, and then we'll create a new SIP. We will then name this SIP as ETF. We'll click on it. Now we will have to fill in the monthly schedule. We will have to fill in which date of the month we want it executed and the time. So say I want it executed on the 21st of every month at about 11:30 a.m. So we can read over here that SIPs on weekends and holidays will be placed on the next trading day. So we will have to set up a bank mandate so that the funds are automatically added to our account and the orders in the basket can get executed. So I've created.
So then after this now what we do, we create a bank mandate. This is a one-time job. We just go on to follow the instructions and then we'll have to create a bank mandate. It takes about 5 working days to be created, and it will go through your bank account details and everything, and we can, okay, we can then authenticate the bank account using our debit card or net banking. We just have to agree to the conditions and then we have to click on submit. Once this is done, then in 5 days the e-mandate will be executed. Then we go back to our previous page and we click on create, and then we have our active SIP, and it also tells us in how many days the next payment is coming up. So the things that we have to remember here is we can include 20 orders in one basket. We can create a total of 50 baskets. Zerodha does not charge any fees for making these basket orders. However, if we are going to execute our baskets manually, then sometimes if there is a margin shortfall, then some of these orders may not get executed. And similarly, we can also create baskets for a whole lot of diversified stocks for long-term investing. It's exactly similar to the ETF basket that we just created. That's about it. Thank you.
Basket first in the Zerodha. You list down your ETFs, what you want to invest in a regular manner. Like Nifty Bees is the first top 50 companies of India. Then Junior B is the next 50. So you are investing in Nifty and Junior Bs, you are investing in the top 100 company of India. Suppose any of the companies not performing well, this BSC people, SEBI will remove that and replace by a company which will perform well. So you are always invested in top 100 companies of India. So that way, next will be mid 150. So another 150. In that way, mid 500. So you can invest in first 50, 100, 150, 250 and 500 companies of India by creating a basket. Along with that, you can add gold and silver as a diversification. And this basket runs automatically for the SIP. You don't have to do. Once mandate is done, finished. The status which was showing active, suppose next month you have to divert your fund somewhere else, you can pause that mandate. You just click. There is an option of pause SIP. You can pause for till you again, reactivate, it will get paused for a couple of months. Suppose 3 months you don't want to do SIP. You click a pause, it will be get paused. After 3 months you click again start, then again it will start SIP. So this is the beauty of creating a basket. It goes automatically, you don't have to think anything. Okay, so that's what we want to highlight here. This is one of the practical aspect of investing by creating a basket and then going to the SIP, add your basket into the SIP and give that mandate and date and time for the execution. So thank you, Parul.
And even if that basket is not currently in execution, it is still saved in Zerodha. So later on, you can again activate it.
So similarly, you can make a basket for your favorite shares, Reliance, suppose Tata Motors, HDFC. You create a basket. Whenever there is a fall in the market, you just swipe. The amount you can see how much money is required. Once you create a basket, on the top you will see Falana amount 30,000 or 50,000 is required for this basket. If you have extra money, just swipe, it will credit it to your account. So this helps in your regular SIP as well as dip. Dip buying when market falls. Tomorrow we may have a good opportunity to invest because of the war. So you have to be alert when is the dip coming.
Yeah.
Yes, later on you can.
Yes, we can change the date and time. You can edit the basket at the click of a button through your phone. No, it is just serving your bank details are linked with it, and if that basket is active, then that much amount, but the amount will vary because the price of the stocks will vary. So abhi ye basket 10,000 ka bana hai, to 11,000-12,000 whatever, depending upon the market.
I made basket first time, market hai and ek limit order. I click limit order. So limit order is suppose today Reliance is 1400. तो I have 1400 होगा तो ही buy होगा, उसके बिना buy नहीं होगा. So you select market order whether Reliance is 1400 or 1500. I want to buy in SIP. So you select market order. But आपके मन में नहीं 1400 आएगा तो ही Reliance लेना. Then you put a limit order. So whenever that price will hit, it will execute.
Yeah, but if you keep doing these limit orders, then every time you'll have to sort of manually keep doing it.
And you may miss the opportunity. So better to keep SIP component as a market price.
Yeah.
When making the basket, when creating the SIP, there is an option to select how much quantity of ETF or how much amount.
Price, yes.
So you have to select the amount. You have to fix the amount, not the quantity.
Yeah. You can do both. You can fix your amount, so accordingly,
so it is
quantity या उससे थोड़ा कम खरीदा जाएगा.
But always select the amount, don't fix the quantity.
Yeah.
So that's exactly
so that
I
you
wanted
can
to
get
ask.
the benefit when the market falls.
So you know how much your money is going to go for your brand.
Yeah.
Just one more question. Those who are regularly doing SIP, which is the best time to do an SIP in a month?
So generally, one study was done by Wealthconians, and they said that after the second half of the month, second to third half of the month is
Best
better.
is third week of a month,
Yeah.
where the markets are relatively low and we can have more units. Is the
Also
best.
timing, afternoon timing is best.
Yeah,
11 to
afternoon
1.
timing, yes.
Morning
yes.
there is a lot of
Morning
volatility.
there is a lot of rush.
So you may purchase at a higher rate. If you wait till the afternoon by 12 to 1, so timing was also there.
So
you
the
can
rush
select
is in the
afternoon.
morning and the rush is at the closing time.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
best is lunchtime.
Yeah, but Monday morning we are going to get a lot of opportunity to buy with the
Tomorrow.
dip. Yeah.
So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Parul, for a very, very nice presentation, which was very practical. Let us welcome our next speaker now, Dr. Prajakta Gokhale. She's a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist practicing at Dr. Gokhale's Urology and Gynecology Center and Karuna Hospital. She specializes in high-risk obstetrics and urogynecology. And she has started her investing journey since 2019 and is associated with Wealthcon since 2022. Welcome, Dr. Prajakta, and she'll be speaking about insurance and loans today.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. In morning, Dr. Ram beautifully explained personal finance with the mnemonic called as split. So amongst those, the insurance and loans are the most powerful tools which can make or break your financial planning. It all depends upon how you use them. So we will begin with insurance, which is a safety umbrella for the wealth that we create eventually. In anybody's lifespan, there are 3 events which can completely cause a financial collapse, which is the death of the earning member, major illness, or any large unexpected liabilities. So if you are covered for all these 3 events, then your financial base is basically very strong. So hence, each of us should have a life insurance, a health insurance, and a general insurance. So before we go ahead, I would like to debunk certain myths. Many people, especially the young ones, they think that we don't need the insurance, but always consider insurance as a seat belt. We don't wear the seat belt because we intend to crash, but it is basically to protect us in terms of crisis. Secondly, people think that it is a waste of money, but we should re-look at insurance as a transfer of the risk from yourself to an insurance company, so they can give you a large sum of money during the time of crisis. Also now with the latest budget, the GST has been waived off from the term insurance and life insurance, so it has actually become 18% cheaper. Thirdly, and the most important one, which is even Dr. Ram sir re-emphasized in the morning, is that insurance is investment. Insurance as an investment is a thought process of many people, but you should always keep these 2 entities separate, because insurance, the sole purpose is the protection, whereas investment is for wealth creation. So never mix both of them. It is a kind of a financial disaster. Coming to life insurance, the purpose of life insurance is to protect the family income. We should in fact rename it as death insurance, because it's not for you, it is for your family after you die. So there are various different types of life insurances, but the best one is term insurance, and that too without the return of premium, because it gives us the lowest premium at the highest coverage. The suggested coverage is basically 20 times of your annual income, or if you have loans, you have to add the loan amount to it as well. And what is the ideal time to buy? So the younger you are, the better it is. Ideal time is within your 20s before you reach the 30, because the age slabs changes again, so that you can lock the premium for the entire period of the insurance, the term policy. Why? Because if you can see in this, the table besides, 2 CR insurance at the age of 30 will cost only 16,000, but if I take the same at the age of 45, it's going to cost me 2 times more. So it's always better to take the life insurance at the earliest. And the term policy should be ideally till your age of 70 and nothing shorter. These are the different other life insurances which are available. There is no point in going in depth because they are mixture of insurance and investments. We have to be very clear that insurance is not an investment. Insurance is not going to make you rich, but it will protect you from becoming poor. Plus, they also have a higher premium, they have lower coverage, and the returns that you get are in fact only 4 to 6%. And if you calculate the inflation and everything, they might go in negative as well. So the best structure is to keep a large term insurance without the rate of premium and to take a separate investment. I would like to touch upon the MWPA Act, which is for the Married Women's Property Act. So it is for the your spouse and the children, and it is only applicable to the married men. It has to be taken at the time of taking the term insurance. Once you have taken the term insurance, you cannot opt for the MWPA Act, and neither can you change the beneficiaries or the trustees in it. So when you are filling the form at the time of taking the term insurance, you have to be very particular. So what does it actually do? So it basically legally protects the death benefit that would be available for your wife and the children from the court attachments, the creditors, and the business liabilities. Next, we will come to health insurance. There are different types of health insurances. So it basically does what? It protects your savings from the hospital expenses. The different types, of which the best one is the family floater health insurance. So instead of taking individual health insurance for each and every family member, a family floater of course makes a lot of sense. There is a senior citizen health insurance for the people more than 60. In fact, in family health floater policy also, you can add your parents, but should never do that because the premium is calculated on the age of the highest age in the group. So nowadays, in fact, we are getting a lot of family floater insurances with unlimited renewability. So go for those the health insurances so that you do not have to take a separate senior citizen health insurance later after the age of 60. There are also critical illness insurance and maternity insurance and the personal accident insurances, which are available as add-ons as well, but it actually makes a lot of sense taking them separately because whatever benefits that you are getting as the add-ons are far lesser with a lesser coverage than you get it when you buy the individual policies. So what is the cover that we are looking at? Looking at the current state, the base cover should be at least 25 lakhs. With the top-up or super top-up, if you want, according to the condition of the family, and you should try and buy them before the age of 30 because the base premium is low. Also, the acceptance rate is very high, and the waiting period is generally over before the lifestyle problems creep in. Also, the no-claim bonus, which is the bonus that you get because you don't pay and it multiplies very rapidly, makes your corpus or the coverage area almost 2 to 4 times. So that is also available by the time you enter 30s and 40s. And there are some amount of tax benefits also that you get with health insurance, about 25,000 under 80D for the family floater and 50,000 for the senior citizen health insurance. So when you are buying a health insurance, as we do for the mutual funds, we buy them directly. So kindly try and buy them directly from the platforms that are available online. But if that is not possible, we have no other choice. But when you are buying it, these are the few points that you have to take into consideration. First is the co-payment. This is the lot of insurance companies gives you a waiver or tell you that you will get 20% discount if you do a co-payment. So co-payment is basically you have to pay 10 to 20% of the bill first, and then the insurance will come into action. So say no to that. There should be no room rent capping because, as you know, the room rent is the base of all the entire hospital bill. There should be no disease-wise sublimit. So in a very fine print, they would write that this particular disease will only cover around 2 to 3 lakhs. So check and read all the fine prints and see to it that the health insurance policy does not have any disease limit. Also, there is a PED waiting period which is available for the new policies. So be aware of that. Nowadays, we have policies who are covering from day one. So every year, they are coming with better facilities. So check on that. The fifth one is the restoration benefit. The restoration benefit is very important in the family floater policy because there are 4 people and one gets admitted, and if your base cover is around 10 lakhs, your 8 lakhs gets used. Only 2 lakhs will be available for the rest of the members. Hence, the restoration benefit should always be 100%. This is the most important criteria, so that the moment that 8 lakhs gets over, again the family, the health insurance get restored to 10 lakhs, so it's available for the other members or for the same member in the same year. You should also look for the no claim benefit. As I explained, if you're not claiming, it multiplies the coverage by 2 to 4 times or more. There should be also a pre and post hospital cover. They are offering for at least 30 to 60 days. I saw a policy which is offering 180 days also. Consumable cover should be there, daycare cover for the radiotherapy, chemotherapy, cataract and the other daycare surgeries. Domiciliary treatment care, see if you can get it, because we have seen in COVID how important it was for the treatment to happen at home. And as I mentioned earlier, the lifetime renewability is very important criteria, so that you do not have to take another health insurance after age of 60, which is at much higher premiums. Lastly, when you're comparing the different policies, when you have already compared the previous pointers, so you should check out for what is the CSR ratio. So CSR is a settlement ratio. It should be ideally more than 90. More than 95 is the most preferable one. There are certain add-ons, as I mentioned earlier, like maternity cover, the critical illness, and the accident riders which are there. You may take it along with the policy, or it is always better, as I said, that you take it separately, because the accident covers, they do not, the one which is a rider will just give you the coverage for the permanent disability. It does not cover you for the partial or the temporary disability. So compare that before you go ahead, because all these riders are eventually going to increase your premium, which you are going to pay for a longer time. They also have certain freebies, like free health checkups and ambulance charges, so you can check on these when you are buying a policy. What is important to know is what is not covered by the health insurance. The adventure sports injury has been recently been added because of the increase in the number of adventure sports. So you should try and refrain from that, so that you get the best benefit out of the health insurance. The general insurance, the purpose is to protect what is valuable to you. So there are many of them, like car insurance, property insurance, professional indemnity insurance, business insurances. But the most important one we will talk about is the professional indemnity insurance, which protects your savings from the litigation. Minimum cover should be of 5 CR, and you should upgrade that according to your specialty. So if you're going with more complex surgeries, oncosurgeries, robotic surgeries, try and increase it to 10 CR or more if required. So precautions while buying the indemnity is that you should update it as your income increases, which is mostly not done with many people. You should also see that it covers your visiting consultants and assistants. The litigation cost is covered, and there is an adequate retroactive date. This is very important, because sometimes the claim is made after many years, so it should cover for all the incidences that has happened before you buy the policy. Underinsuring will definitely contradict your financial discipline. So to sum it up, the general guidelines, term insurance, the life term insurance, health insurance, professional indemnity insurances are non-negotiable. All the policies that you buy should be simple, boring, but extremely strong. Do not go ahead with all those mocktails and the mixtures and all. They have to just do one particular job for which you are paying them. Buy it directly from the company. Avoid using multiple policies for the same purpose. So it's better that you always over-insure yourself rather than under-insure and keep on buying the top-ups on the top of it. Also avoid hiding a medical history, because that is a fraud. Till 3 years, the insurance company can challenge you and can cancel your policy and just waive off all your, cancel all your premiums that you have paid now. So see to it that you do not hide any medical history. Also, of course, however small the print is, please read the policy terms. And when you are comparing, rather before the renewal of every policy, especially the health insurance, term insurance is very simple. The life term insurance is very simple. Once you take it, keep it with you for 70 years and take a good coverage. But for the health insurance specifically and the other ones, see to it that you compare periodically and you can successfully port them into the ones, because the health insurance is ever evolving. They are coming up with new facilities every time. So you can port it, but don't do it very often, because that is also again going to increase your premiums. So we have seen that insurance decreases our stress during financial crisis, and the loans increases the financial responsibility. This is the iconic picture from Wealthcon, and which very sums it up very well, that loan is nothing but the modern day slavery. So no loan is the best policy. However, that is not possible today. So we will go ahead with what is loan. Loan is nothing but the borrowed money. That needs to be imprinted that it is a borrowed money, and you have to give it back to the bank in a particular period of time. The price that you pay is in the form of interest. So even before you plunge into this slavery, you better ask yourself whether you really need it, or is it for the luxury, or will it increase my income? So we have two loans, two types of loans, the good loan and the bad loan. So good loan, has Ram sir said in the morning, there are only 3 and you have to just stick to it because it causes, it increases, it creates the assets and increases your income, and it's basically an appreciation is what we are looking at, which is much more than the rate of interest that you're paying the bank. Whereas the bad loans is a depreciating loan. So any loan which is taken, personal loan which is taken for products of, in the morning as we said, for the lifestyle upgrade or expensive vacations or travels, and in fact the credit card loan as well is a bad loan. However, a good loan can also become a bad loan. So that will happen when you do not stick to the calculations properly. So you have to always take the loan within your capacity. It should never be, a single loan also should never be 3 times your annual income, and the total EMI of all the loans that you have should not be more than 40% of your monthly income. You should know that you can pay the loans comfortably for 5 years and avoid taking multiple loans. So try and stay within this, because if it's more than 40%, then your breathing space, financial breathing space reduces. So general guidelines when we are going to buy a loan is that it has to be always a smallest amount, it has to be for the shortest duration, the lowest interest rate, lowest charges, there should be no prepayment penalty, there should be no lock-in period. So you have to negotiate with the bank, I would say, and to see to it that you get all these terms on your terms as well, because the banks need you, so it is okay, and you don't have to feel shy when you are talking to the banks and discussing about all these points. You can see why this is important, because in the table which is besides, you can see a 10-year, 1 CR loan for 10 years at 8.5, you will be paying an interest of 50 lakhs. But the same loan, if I'm taking a tenure of 20 years, I will be paying double, and in 30 years, I'll be paying 3 times, almost 3 CR. So always compare the interest, bargain for a good interest rate, read the terms carefully, and understand the repayment structure. So now we understand that the interest is a huge price that we are paying. You know, over 20 years, I'm paying double. That means I will have to pay for 1 CR, I will have to pay 2 CR back to the bank, and for 30 years, I will have to pay 3 CR to the bank. So paying off interest increases your total cost. So we have to save. Saving is earning. So we have to save this interest by prepaying the loan. So important is when do we prepay and how do we prepay. So everybody knows that the interest is a front-loaded interest. That means the first half of your home loan tenure, I'm quoting home loan because that's the commonest one. So the first half of the home loan, the majority of your payment, almost 60 to 90% of your EMI goes into the interest, and hardly anything is paid back to the principal amount. So when you reach the middle of your tenure, only 20% of the principal amount is paid. Hence, it makes sense that you do the prepayment in the first half of your tenure of the loan. So early prepayment saves the maximum amount of interest that we have to pay. So there are various ways in which you can prepay the loan. The best one is to dump all your savings, the surplus amounts into the bank. Try and prepay within 5 years, that's the best. If not, then within 10 years, you can also achieve this by doubling the EMI. You can step up the EMI by around 10%. So you can see everywhere we are saving on the tenure also, as well as on the interest that we will be saving. So whichever method suits you, just go ahead with it and try and finish off the loans at the earliest. So as Ram sir had said that 25% you save for the investments, and in remaining you adjust to it that the loans are paid faster. So multiple loans when you have, there are the fancy names, avalanche technique and snowball technique that you can use, but it's a common sense. If you have multiple loans, the first loan to go off is the one with the highest interest and the highest amount, because it saves on your interest that we saw earlier. But this may not be very motivating for some people because it takes a longer time. So then you can go ahead by paying off the smaller loan so that at least the ball gets rolling. So the aim is always to prepay the loans fast. Any poorly planned loan can cause a lot of financial loss. This is just, I wanted to tell you that when you want to prepay the loans, the best is to dump, but sometimes there are situations in which we cannot actually prepay completely. We want those funds for something else for the short period of time. You can either go for the OD accounts when you are purchasing a loan, but that again incurs a little higher interest rate. So this is another option that you can use instead of the OD account, which is an offset loan account. It's also known as an advantage account in some banks. So what it does is that the surplus amount, instead of paying completely back to the loan, prepaying it back, you can park it over here so that the interest is reduced. So if I'm taking 50 lakhs loan and I have parked some 25 lakhs, and the loan, the interest will be charged only on 25 lakhs more. So that my interest eventually, because small investments or small savings also makes a big difference at the end when we are looking at a tenure of 20 years. So you can do that. But as a precaution, do it only when you have a good financial discipline. Because if you are going to again use this for the other products of prestige or anything, then it defies your whole purpose of having an offset loan. Credit card debt trap, everybody knows that the interest rate is 30 to 40%. So the best way to get out of it is not to have one. Second is you stop making new purchases on that. But if you want to create the points and all, you have to have a good discipline, as Ram said, had already mentioned in the morning about the credit card. Fixed loan, fixed rate of interest and floating rate of interest. Floating rate of interest has an advantage because it comes at is little cheaper, and you don't have to actively monitor it. It will keep on changing its the interest rates according to the repo rate which has been given by the RBI. However, if you need a stability in monthly payments, everybody's behavior in finance is different. So if you want a stability in the monthly payments, you can go for the fixed rate. And in this also, you can avail the advantage of the repo rate being reduced. Right now, the repo rate has gone nicely down to 5.25. So in that case, you can approach the bank and tell them, so make bank employees your friends, in fact your best friends. So you just talk to them, tell them to reduce it. There is a charge which is there for it around 10 to 15,000, but if you have good relations, sometimes they don't even charge that. So you can choose between the fixed rate and the floating rate depending upon your financial behavior. The other disadvantages of the loan, besides the huge interest that we are paying, is the EMI pressure. So as in the morning Dr. Nitin quoted, is that death and taxes are, by Benjamin Franklin, the death and taxes are definite and they are always there. The EMI is always there. The EMI will be there irrespective of how your health is, what is your situation. So that is one of the biggest thing causing a lot of anxiety and health issues in the current scenario. And there is always a risk of over borrowing. This is typically true for doctors because we are vulnerable to income overconfidence bias, lifestyle inflations, ego expansions, and doctors, as you know, are always asset rich and cash poor, so we have to get out of this trap. Borrow smartly and not emotionally. Lastly, I would like to show you this financial planning pyramid. As you can see, different individuals have different financial planning, but the base is always the same, which is the wealth protection. So always you have to protect yourself with life insurance, health insurance, professional indemnity insurance, and if any general insurance is required as per your profession, and then you stabilize it with a 12-month emergency funds before you scale up. So then you land up with the wealth creation with using, increasing the assets with the help of the loans or with the investments, but it should always be a controlled leverage EMI of less than 40%. Thank you. Financial planning is indeed a long journey, so we have to protect the capital, control the leverage, and most importantly, preserve the peace. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prajakta, for that presentation.
We can felicitate, no question, because we have to start with the panel now. She has written 60-page book during our Wealthcon journey just on technical analysis. One of the best book.
That's my passion.
Wow. I request to felicitate our chairpersons, Dr. Niranjan Maidev sir and Dr. Gauri Sultane. Dr. Parul Shah has joined. She's on the way. Okay.
She's gone.
कसले अच्छा हां हां अच्छा आहेत PPT मध्ये बरं आपले ह्यांचे द्या ना पहिले हे नाही आहेत का निखिल दाता नाही आहेत का बरं let's move ahead with the last session which may be very interesting, the panel discussion. I like to invite Dr. Nikhil Datar sir, the Nikhil Datar sir, and Dr.
Introduction.
This panel is going to be very, very practical. Okay, we have not added any theory part of it, just a practical aspect and day-to-day things. We invite all the panelists to be on dais and also Dr. Jyoti. Madam, please, if you can join.
एक आपलं slide. चला सांगा.
So,
Yes.
we welcome all panelists. Dr. Santosh Jaybhai sir, Dr. Maulik Shah sir, Dr. Samir Pradhan sir, Dr. Nachiket Jadhav sir, Dr. Rajiv Borlepar sir, Dr. Avinash Bhatt sir, and Dr. Samir Shah sir. Welcome all panelists. So thank you for your patient listening for all the lectures, and thank you our respected speakers for your valuable talks. Now we move on to the panel discussion.
So, welcome to all dons over here. Okay. Hello. Welcome to all dons over here. Okay. So that's why we have decided to skip their introductions. All of them are Wealthconians. Is their biggest introduction. Maulik is the person who introduced me to Wealthcon, and these people have been teachers. They have been teaching people. Besides their being professional doctors, of course, that we all know. So the rules today are that we all know that we are all AFG people. In panel discussion, we have the habit of getting up and asking questions. Here we have got a lot of paucity of time. So what we are going to do is that we are going to ask questions first. No questions in between like our AFG culture to begin with. And then later on we will open it up if time permits, because it's already 1:25 and some people may be hypoglycemic already. Hypoglycemia होएगा तो knowledge अंदर नहीं जाएगा. चलो, so Sheetal, please.
So our first segment is career and income diversification. So my first question is how can you approach income diversification early in your career, private practice, academics, and consultancy and other ventures? This I would ask Dr. Nachiket to answer this question.
Okay, about in the initial stage of your career, so financial principles you can use everywhere in life, including your practice. There is one principle in finance: do not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not put all your patients in one hospital. Okay, so try to have income from multiple places, multiple hospitals. Don't over diversify by visiting from Mumbai to Vasai and Dahanu, but at least try to have 2-3 hospitals from where you generate income. Other activities, academics, consultancy, if you get the opportunity to generate income from there, well and good, but focus on your first thing that you want, private practice. Don't pursue academics and consultancy if they are going to hamper your private practice. And lastly, because this is a finance journey, finance session, many beginners have this misconception that they can generate another source of income from trading and finance. At the early part of your career, that is not going to happen, because money grows money. And in the early stage of your career, you are not going to have that much money to generate any significant income. In that stage of your career, focus on learning about finance and start an SIP or something which will be your pension plan, but not your another source of income. Okay, so geographical diversification, focus on your practice, and try to start learning about finance.
Great, sir. That was a good insight. So basically, the principle is stabilize core income, build surplus, and diversify intelligently. So the second question goes to Samir Pradhan, sir. What are the key financial mistakes you see doctors make when starting that practice?
Yeah, thank you for that. Now, as we are all students of Wealthcon and we believe in mnemonics, I made a lot of mistakes and I made a mnemonic for that. So first was whatever surplus I had, I made FDs because I did not know that FDs were wealth eroding that time. Insurance from agents who were relatives because I wanted to oblige them.
Very right, sir.
And then I took all those endowment plans, ULIP plans with all this, and then they told me something like 10-10D, ki tabhi when it matures, it will be insurance and what's up. So that was all ignorance plans. Then
Right.
save what remains after expenses. I had not read Rich Dad and Poor Dad, so I was a poor dad. So पहले सब खर्चा निकालो और बचेगा तो सेव करो. जैसा आज राम सर ने बोला, pay yourself first. 25% of whatever you earn, first pay yourself, and then that is the thing. Next thing. Then I went to go to the bank. The bank advisors made me do SIP in the mutual fund. तो तभी वो रेगुलर डायरेक्ट का कुछ फंडा मालूम नहीं था. 1% पता था, बाद में पता चला. But they said कि we don't know this, so 1% is not so much. मतलब 12% मिलने वाला है तो 1% is just 1%. 11% मिलेगा. But 1% of your profit is 10%.
Yes.
So that we came to know after Wealthcon. Accumulate real estate or low, gold low, physical gold low, without any this. So that sometimes becomes this. Then peer comparison. इसका बड़ा घर है तो मेरा भी बड़ा घर होना मांगता है, मेरी बड़ी गाड़ी होनी मांगती है. I want the latest phone. So that and then use the credit cards. A lot of offers come for personal loans. So these are all bad loans. So keep upgrading lifestyles. EMIs out of proportion to income. And then save without any goal. मतलब children education कुछ goal नहीं था. पैसा आया तो save करो. Haphazard saving. Save with tips. If I have to buy any equity, इसने अरे ये share अभी इतना है उतना बढ़ने वाला है. So that tips which was dangerous, and CNN news which was dangerous. So this was a mistake. And Ponzi schemes. कोई ऐसा जल्दी return देगा या network marketing ऐसा सब. So all those were the mistakes which I made.
Great, sir. That's a great insight. So how many of you have ignorance policies till now? Everybody's all nobody's answering, and the person who is smiling, smiling more. Okay. So that's how sir has already summarized everything. The next question to Jaybhai sir, how should a doctor decide between employment, partnership or starting their own facility?
Okay, here our basic principle of Wealthcon comes into picture, know thyself. So you have to understand your own personality, what are your expectations out of your practice. If you want a stable income, no insecurities, steady and slowly growing flow of income, job security, then employment is the best option for you. You want slight better prospects, but not ready to take entire headache of management on your head, and want to have a little better work-life balance with little better growth potential. That is where the partnership firms comes into picture. You partner with a like-minded consultant, maybe of your branch or some other branch, and start a hospital. Income gets shared, definitely, no doubt about it, but the responsibilities get shared. Your income may reduce by 10% or maybe by 50%, but your responsibilities and your management headache goes down by 80-90%. And if you are like पूरी दुनिया मिट्टी में करनी है, and if I am ready to completely give away with my work-life balance, family है ठीक है वो लोग consider कर लेंगे, I'll start operating at 8 o'clock in the morning, will continue till 10 o'clock in the night, ignore my health, ignore everything else, then own facility is the best option for you.
True, sir. So that's how sir told us employment is stability plus low stress, partnership is shared risk plus shared conflict, and own facility is full control but full responsibility if you're ready to take. So start with clarity.
Most important is the last line.
Yes.
Start with a clarity about a
Long-term
long-term vision.
What you want to do in future. So my question to Rajiv Borlepwar sir, for those in government or medical college positions, how can they build additional income streams without compromising their primary role?
The rules are very strict, madam. For government servants, the active income is not allowed apart from their primary role. So they can aim for the passive income. They can have a income from capital gain, rental income, interest income and dividend income. Otherwise, they have to take a permission for any financial gain. They have to take a permission from government. Like if you have to do a online teaching program or make a videos for teaching, you have to take a permission. So better to have a passive income only.
Yes, sir. Right.
So I think we'll go with the next theme, that's the investment and the wealth building. I mean, we all know that we have made our mistakes. Samir said it very rightly, we are contemporaries, we have made those mistakes and then learned from those mistakes. So we are all here, we made our mistakes. Maulik, my question to you basically, that now let's say that we all want to start afresh. Okay, say I have got 100 rupees investable amount with me now, and I'm learning and also investing on my own, and I need to pick up say 3 vehicles, okay, where I want to invest. I mean, we are by far and large at an age, not strugglers, have a decent amount of regular income, more or less, not too much of irregularities there. So can you suggest and give this kind of a take home message that ये 3 चीज पकड़ो और पहला ये 3 चीज में चालू करो?
Yeah, so सी सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट आज टॉक्स में भी ये हुआ, SIP इज़ द की, क्योंकि SIP गिव्स अस दैट डिसिप्लिन. तो SIP होना है. इरेगुलर इनकम के लिए जब बात करते हैं ना, तो वहाँ पर भी एक डिसिप्लिन ही चाहिए. सो व्हेन आई हैव एन SIP, सो से 20% अगर हमने फिक्स कर लिया है, तो दैट 20% हैज़ टू गो. बट इन एनी मंथ माई इनकम हैज़ गॉन ड्रामेटिकली हाई, सो देन एडिशनल जितना इनकम जनरेट किया ना, उसका 20% में आइदर यू कैन डू डीप बाय ऑन जो भी म्यूचुअल फंड में SIP चल रहा था, उसका एडिशनल यूनिट्स परचेज कर लो ऑफ दैट अमाउंट, और एल्स फॉर दैट कॉर्पस यू कैन यूज लिक्विड बीज. बट लिक्विड बीज आई फील वो तो हमने एसेट एलोकेशन में कवर कर लिया रहता है. सो दिस अमाउंट आई फील शुड गो फॉर आइदर दिस SIP ऑफ अ सेम म्यूचुअल फंड, or else this nifty Bs or nifty junior Bs or bank Bs, तो ETFs basically. So that's what for irregular income I feel उतना proportion डालना ही है, whatever said and done. That's what my take.
So you spoke about those vehicles which are investment, but डॉक्टर लोग का है ना रियल एस्टेट का प्यार जाता नहीं है, ठीक है. So Nachiket, I want to ask you this question, that if at all suppose you want to still pursue your प्यार, ओके, तो एनी अपर लिमिट फॉर्मूला दैट यू वांट टू गिव कि इससे ऊपर रियल एस्टेट में नहीं जाना चाहिए.
So there is that GRED ratio in which you have to divide your assets. Real estate should not be in any situation more than 40-50% of your total wealth. But for doctors that उतना 30-40% विरासत में आ जाता है. We that quota is already finished, but later on you can, real estate we can use as a vehicle to store large amounts of wealth. That we will discuss, I think, in the next questions.
Okay. Currently we all know that there is a very constant kind of a struggle in our minds as to whether we start our own, invest in equipments on our own, invest in clinics on our own, or we rather piggy bank onto somebody else, whether it is getting into a nursing home setup with as a partnership or something, or straight away getting into a corporate or something like that. So Avinash, I want to know that if at all suppose you are into that kind of a situation, okay, how will you kind of decide, okay, that I should invest my own money in say an equipment or clinic or whatever, or I should rather tie up with somebody?
Sure.
I mean any kind of a formula that इतना percentage मिलता होएगा तो मैं ये करूँगा, इससे कम मिलता रहेगा तो this is better. Any such kind of a rough formula that you can give to our listeners?
So I think it comes down to what kind of income you're going to make, right? If you're going to invest in the equipment, you should be able to recover the cost, that's in 3 to 4 years. If that's not the income you're going to generate, probably then look at tying up with those institutes. Also, if you're going to visit nursing homes which do not have the equipment you require, you then have no option then to buy that equipment and see how you can cover those EMIs. So it depends on what your line of practice is, where you're visiting, and then take a call of how soon you can recover the cost of that.
I
Can
would just
we
like
have
to
a
add
difference of
one
opinion here?
Yes, sir.
So basically, suppose now for doctors, when I have started with the corporate, and for that it was like what the ROI per se, I don't believe it is for the equipment right now, because now suppose I am going to do a laparoscopy and I am going to market myself as a laparoscopic surgeon. If I don't have my equipment, I can never establish my growth. So then I might as well take a loan, buy my own equipment. The ROI will eventually, with the help of depreciation, since we are in private practice and not in a job, that eventually you will recover it. But if I go and tell somebody I am a laparoscopic surgeon and I don't have equipment, tomorrow there is a case, then it is not going to serve the purpose. So when I started, I never looked at the ROI, frankly. But if I do buy a big thing, something like a big sonography machine or advanced machine, then probably I will wait for that proper patient footfall and then decide. But for the basic equipments, you should directly not see the ROI.
Yeah, for if example, a radiologist, he wants to put in CT or MRI, so it's not possible for
Start with
him
the
or-
sonography
Yeah.
and then upskill himself, and then as the footfall increases, he can go. You should not take another loan which is not going to be able to repay. How we had a very nice talk by Dr. Prajakta. The EMI should be within that 30. All EMI should be within the 30-40% of your income.
So basically what your skill is most important. If you are skilled in endoscopy, IVF, then you invest whole and soul into it single-handedly is what I personally feel, rather than taking partners.
Yes, ma'am. So we move on to the segment of tax planning and retirement planning. My question to Dr. Maulik, sir, is what's the optimal business structure for a doctor, sole proprietorship, partnership, corporate entity, from a tax perspective?
Okay. See, for tax perspective, we'll keep it the core question, what kind of structure? That has multiple factors. Tax is one of the factor. So first very important factor is how I am going to practice. So if I am a solo practitioner, then whatever be it hospital or clinic, I should have proprietary. If I have 2-3 people, along with, as Jaibai sir was saying, like-minded people are there who are working together, be it clinic or hospital, then it is better to have LLP. And if now the third part, the private limited or corporate structure, that will come when you have a lot of people, maybe 4-5 people or more,
and you scale up.
And you have to go for a higher ticket size, so maybe 10 crores or more than that. So then this is a very important factor. Now coming to the tax part, proprietorship, 100% taxation is on myself. LLP as well as private limited, both have 30% tax bracket on whatever profit they are generating. Ab yahan par there is some thing which you can use. So LLP is something where you can leverage the rules. So for LLP, it is like that the professional fees which is paid to the partners are expenses to LLP, right? So that is something which we can leverage. So when we are 2-3 people together, you can pay them as a professional fees the maximum amount, and there is no cap, no limit. When the part of remuneration comes, there is a limit that you not 30% or 40% se zyada you cannot give in that particular amount of income.
Yes.
Okay. But private limited, there is flat 30%, and there are some complex norms. So compliance becomes a bit difficult in private limited. So when your ticket size or income which you are catering is really big, maybe more than 10 crores or something, then private limited can be opted for.
Yes, sir.
That's clear, I think.
Right. So, my next question goes to Samir Pradhan, sir. When should a doctor start thinking about retirement planning, and what's a realistic target?
Okay, so
It's a very important question.
yeah, very important. Now, after learning Wealthcon from teachers like
Not that you are retiring, sir.
no, I'm not retiring. I had a major health issue, but that time also this thought had come 3 years back, but which I fought it back. But during the COVID, we all had this main thing, and that time, luckily, I met Santosh and we did all these courses. Now, retrospectively, it should start whenever you get your first paycheck. That is what I told my daughter now, like when she was in an intern. Retirement planning should start early, because start early gives you the power of compounding. But otherwise, the next best time is today. Don't wait for tomorrow. So whatever is gone, never cry over the spilt milk. And then you start it today. Now, how much to plan and how long? There was always this discussion going on that doctors start earning early. Now at 35 they will start. But we don't retire at 60. So if we are a professional and we keep our health in check and don't over-exhaust, like how Nachiket said, from Bhinder to you don't do so much this, then you can safely practice till 65, 70, so that you have that extra 10 years again. So you plan accordingly, start early. There will be 2 stages of your retirement planning. You'll have to accumulate, and that the best thing to accumulate a steady income is by the way Dr. Vinod Dhole Patil sir told, ETFs in the ETF ka SIP. And then when your retirement time comes nearby, then you start switching over to the debt part. So you have to secure, because otherwise somebody like Trump comes and the whole market collapses and you are going to be retired and you have saved that equity beats inflation and all those things, and then everything, the market collapses. So you have to switch over. So the best thing is 100 minus your age should be in the equity. So that is a formula. Yes, and then there are 2 things which I read about how much corpus. There's something called rule of 70. So that means suppose you have 1 crore now and there's a 7% inflation. So 70 divided by that inflation rate of today, after 10 years it will take for that 1 crore to become 50 lakhs. So that also has to be taken in care of. The inflation also is 7%, what they say the consumer inflation. But the health inflation is almost 14% and the education inflation is also 14% now. That is because of the private equity coming in this. There are a lot of videos on WhatsApp going on about private equity. So the health cost has increased. Professional healthcare has become a corporate health industry. So we all have to pay more for everything, and even the education. So all that has to be taken into consideration.
Means basically you have to save early because costs are rising. Yeah. They really are going to rise very steeply, and that's why we need to start early, otherwise we won't be able to meet the goals. So we move to the next segment. 2 very important things, not very well understood still. One is little bit of mutual funds. Because we don't understand, that's why we take help of agents. So Samir, to you my question is that now henceforth we are not going to go through agents. We are going to go into direct plans. And the job is to find out the set of mutual funds. So how many mutual funds, what type of mutual funds. I don't want you to give names, but give us a framework कि ये type का mutual fund ढूंढो और इतने से ज़्यादा मत रखो. Over to you.
And also sir, whether mutual funds सही है.
Mutual funds सही है, बहुत ज़्यादा mutual funds सही नहीं है. That is what one should remember. I would take it ahead from Dr. Samir Pradhan where he said about asset allocation. So before we select the types of the funds or the number of funds, our basic asset allocation should be in place, which will be different for every individual. Once that is in place, we know our allocation towards equity and we know our allocation towards debt. So now we will be discussing about the equity component. So our aim is diversification. So it means diversification across different market caps, and eventually we need a diversification across the different types of companies, which mutual fund as a product, it has an inherent diversification itself. So the basic principle is one need not go for a very large number of mutual funds because every fund itself is well diversified. So we can begin with the segments wherein large cap, mid cap and small cap. Large cap should eventually form the core of the mutual fund portfolio. So maybe anywhere around 50, 55 to 60% of one's investable surplus should be in large cap funds.
So
The
could you
growth-
tell us why is that? Because
Sorry?
why is that large
I'll
cap?
come to it. So large cap is going to give the stability to the portfolio, because there will always be a temptation, especially in the last 3-5 years that we have seen of bull market, where the mid caps and small caps have just raised ahead. So that temptation in going for mid caps and small caps will be there. But whenever there are corrections and drawdowns, these two segments can show almost 35 to 40% of all in portfolio value.
Right.
So for that balancing act and for giving downside protection, it is good to have a strong core portfolio, in the sense 55 to 60% in a large category. Then the growth part or the growth tilt can be taken care by mid cap and probably by small cap. I wouldn't advise immediately to go for a small cap, because most mid cap funds will also have a good reasonable allocation to small caps. Regarding the number of funds, since we know we are looking at large cap and small cap, so I think covering these three market segments, 5 to 6 funds in total should be more than sufficient. One should not try to cross this level beyond, because beyond the number, it will only be overlapping of the companies, overlapping of the style of investings, and it will just increase the mental clutter for us to individually monitor. So I feel to maximum 2 funds per category and not more than 4 to 5 or 5 to 6 funds should be the gold standard.
And how often would you review it? The portfolio of mutual funds?
The selection of mutual funds.
No, if you select them, and how often would you churn it out, in annually or
So,
in 2 years?
if we are see, first of all, equity is a long-term investment, and whatever is the behavior of the index, that is going to be reflected in the mutual fund. So I don't believe in analyzing mutual funds over a 1 year or a 2 year performance, because if last 2 years of Nifty hasn't given much, there are less chances that my mutual fund would have outperformed. So I believe in giving them a longer run. I would like to assess them and continue with the fund at least for 5 years, but keep a watch every year whether how it is behaving with respect to its benchmark index. If I feel over a period of 5 years it has not managed to beat the index, then I would like to switch over.
Great. Santosh, I want to kind of ask you this question. In fact, we were discussing about this, about HUF. Yeah. So I just simply want you to give those 5-line message about HUF. What all things you can do, how much it is worthwhile using the HUF vehicle. Okay. And what all things you can do so that you are able to generate income in HUF. Mechanisms, vehicles to create and generate income streams in HUF.
Okay. Vidya has given an elaborate talk on this, but we'll just revise in a very short time. One thing is, when you create an HUF, you create one extra PAN card. It has one extra entity for paying tax. So whatever benefits you are getting, one in the form of basic exemptions. So the simple basic exemption up to 4 lakh. So even if you reduce your taxable income by 4 lakh rupees, by shifting some of your income legitimately to HUF, all of us are in 30% tax bracket. So 4 lakh, we are saving straight away, saving around 1.5 lakh rupees as a tax. As far as the income for HUF is concerned, we have a mnemonic by Gilly: gift, inheritance, income, and loans. So these are the 4 legitimate criteria, legitimate sources by which HUF can generate income. And as we were discussing, the moment you create an HUF, it has been seen by tax department that this has been done for tax saving. So as long as you are following the rules and regulations of HUF and not creating any mischief there, if you are going by books, it is a very good vehicle. But if you make some manipulations, some alterations, and if those are picked up by tax department, then it becomes a big headache, because if it goes to scrutiny, then it takes a lot of your time and energy and efforts to convince the tax department. So other than gift, inheritance, income from HUF's businesses and loan, there should not be any other heading by which HUF account is getting created with funds. Like we were discussing, professional fees getting created into an HUF account, that is not allowed by tax department and that should not be done.
And basically it gives you a separate PAN card, but beyond a certain limit, you know, whether that...
If your HUF goes into 30% tax bracket,
exactly,
then there is no benefit. In fact, then there is a headache of maintaining one account, paying CA for fees every year and everything.
By the way, PPF is not allowed in HUF nowadays.
No.
No, so I mean they don't renew the HUF PPF now. You know, so basically government wants to kind of start reducing the use of HUF as a separate vehicle. They have also understood this, so that's the take-home message basically.
But I think DMAT account is allowed in HUF,
Yeah,
right,
DMAT
sir?
is allowed.
Yeah.
DMAT allowed.
Yes. That DMAT account is allowed.
Rajiv sir, now we all have learnt all these things little late in our life, but many of us have young children, you know, so any take-home message for us as parents for our young children, how should we inculcate the habit of investing or saving in them, and any thought process on that?
Yeah, it is like medicine and pediatrics. Same medicine in low doses we have to give. Start early. Start with giving a concept of saving by save water, save electricity, don't waste food like this. And gradually you can increase the concepts, and you can ask to identify the currencies, then give piggy bank, and there are 3 jar concept also there. Weekly income, weekly pocket money you can keep in 1 jar for spending, 2nd jar for saving, 3rd for the sharing. So that we can inculcate.
Great.
For
Now
the people who don't know, I think sir was running a fine group for the
Yes, sir.
kids of Wealthcon member aging from 7th to 10th standards.
7th to 10th.
7th, 8th,
Fine
9th.
group is there for Wealthcon.
We have
This is
continued
the
that
best
group
one.
where the kids of the Wealthconian are educated about the finances. They actually go to the bank, take data, go to the bakery, understand the module of businesses, and they make a report and they present. I think sir has done a fantastic job in that area, and it was hats off.
So I think now we are at the end of the panel discussion, at least from our side in terms of asking questions. So I want all of you all to introspect and say one financial decision, okay, that you took in your life which you would not have taken if the time had reversed back. We start with Nachiket.
Well, I would have, okay, there's this one decision. Basically, I joined Wealthcon in 2020, but 2018, Ram sir had visited Panvel for a district club meeting. The meeting was 2 buildings away from my hospital. I knew that the meeting was there, but I did not go for some India match or something. So that is one financial decision. I got 2 years late, and 2 years now I realize how many lakhs I have.
Two CR loss.
Lakhs, अभी तक lakhs में.
विद्या मैडम को पकड़ना पड़ेगा.
So I was doing sporadic investment because my father used to invest, and DMAT accounts was there from long time. I saw the dot bubble crash. Then I joined, took a PMS, and in 2008 all the capital got wiped out. And then I had pledged never to enter stock market again till I was Ram sir, and that too he was only 2 years late. In the initial first group made by Ram sir, I was there, but then I not joined the Telegram group. मैं लगा ये अपनी बस की बात नहीं है. वो 2008 ही याद आ रहा था कि सब कैपिटल जाता है, एक हिस्टेक्टोमी कर करके कितना पैसा मिलता है और एक झटके में सब साफ हो जाता है. So that fear was there, which is now I think a mistake.
Ma'am. Taking an endowment policy, I'm still paying.
Yes.
Secondly, investing into real estate, and when it depreciates, things go. And I've still as yet to join Wealthcon. I think it's high time I should.
Samir.
I think I would have just liked to start much earlier my equity exposure than at what age I started.
Santosh.
I was about to going to say same thing. So that's it.
Maulik.
So basically, it's all about discipline. I mean, it was random, as Samir sir said, I think. It was random. I was into stocks and all these things, but never made good profit. So it went streamlined, disciplined, and the bliss was I was a no FNO guy. In fact, in Wealthcon, one of the talk, I actually spoke. He remembers. You know?
I remember the first Wealthcon conference where he was talking for 30 minutes on the topic, the financial mistakes I have made in life.
Yes. So I was no FNO guy, and after TMP, it's only FNO.
Wow.
I mean, but it's for no, I mean, no wise. Yes. You go through
Passive
the course
investments it better.
because it's राम सर हमेशा बोलते हैं ये FNO है ना 2-way sword है. So अगर वो complete knowledge से use किया ना तो best है वो.
Perfect.
See, will we directly on the first day of practice without any professional help do radical hysterectomy? We will not. So we follow our profession, our business with some degree of responsibility. The same principle needs to be followed in investing as well as trading.
Avinash, you have the last say.
So, the good old saying, ignorance is bliss, right? So you do the ULIPs, you do those tip investments, and a lot of list which Samir sir mentioned, we've all done that. So जब थोड़ा knowledge आता है, you realize you need to exit those lists. So come out from ULIPs, come out from agents for mutual funds, and get smart. And FNO, absolutely. It is, it's a new world out there.
So in short, friends, it's a question of choice. You have to make the choice. You can decide whether to make these mistakes again. If you have made them once, whether you want to keep on doing them again and again, or you don't want to do that. And we have a gentleman called Nachiket who has summarized it beautifully by one sentence, that by joining Wealthcon, if there was a possibility, he would have done that 2 years. So message is very crystal clear. Now it's a question of you to exercise your choice as to whether you want to be partners, whether you want to be the decision makers in managing your own finances, or you still want to continue giving it to somebody else and be passive observers of what is happening to your money. So I think from our side, Sheetal and me, I think we summarize here in terms of the last take-home message in this manner. And do we have time for questions? Otherwise,
Yeah, we can have, because we are waiting for your cake. It's your birthday.
It's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
So wish you many happy returns of the day,
Happy
sir.
birthday, sir.
So I think as usual, our AFG style, I mean, people are free to ask anybody, anything.
Can I ask? मैं पूछ सकता हूँ क्या?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So actually, the question what was asked about that government employee is not open to do any other kind of work, right? So not active income. Now, is that an active income from the field itself, or the person can do active income from other sources? I mean, see, now honestly, I wrote my book. The book is not that active income from that profession. So book लिखना है या फिर nowadays the hustlers are doing like anything, So अभी YouTube channel चला रहा है. Someone who is sharing all his passions on Insta and he is making monetizing those all things. तो वो सब भी allowed नहीं है क्या government employees को?
No, but we as gynecologists, we have read our professors' books for ages.
So I think pertaining to the
non-academic books.
Academic books you can write.
हाँ, academic books लिख सकते हैं, but
that is
non-academic books
allowed.
Academic books you can write.
Actually, sir, most of the times it goes unnoticed.
For
Nobody
any
is going to see.
financial gain, you need to take a permission. You have to take from government. Yeah. books you can write, and tuitions not allowed.
It's
YouTube
not allowed
also you have to
officially, but
take permission.
people do it, and वो जो पकड़ा जाता है वो चोर होता
It's
है.
not seen many times, so it is not
जो
noticed.
पकड़ा जाता है वो चोर होता है.
Exactly.
Journal,
People are doing.
CMEs, honorary, you can do that. Examiner as examiner you get honorarium. That's okay. That not for government, I think. If NPS, BMC,
BMC is.
One thing I would like to highlight is when you buy and sell stocks, the income comes in capital gain. Okay, so that capital gain I think is allowed even for government employees. Short-term intraday trading is not allowed. Short-term capital gain within 1 year, I think there is no problem. Short-term capital gain also.
FNO is also not allowed, na sir? Not allowed.
long-term investment is allowed. Trading and
I think
business
they
is
are-
not allowed.
Those who are doing from their other mother's account or somebody else's account.
In HUF account you can do. In
Yeah.
spouse account you can do.
Great.
Yeah. Long-term capital gain is allowed. Dividend income is allowed. Interest income is allowed. Rental income is allowed. If you have a property, that is allowed.
How do we save the capital gain tax which after selling a residential property? What are the different ways of
There's an account. Capital gain account.
If you got a capital gain after selling residential property, and if you buy a new house or buy a new house within 2 years or construct a new house within 3 years, and using this amount your capital tax can be saved. It's completely waived off. Then you have to pay.
Then there's 54.
And one more
54,
important,
this
one, one more important thing. If you sell one property and utilize the capital gain to buy next property within 2 years, there is a caveat here that property you cannot sell for next 3 years.
And also, I would like to add, sir, if you have taken one property and you're selling other, it should be from residential to residential, not commercial.
Right.
So that is also there. Also, there is one account wherein we can put our money.
There is a two
There are
bonds.
certain, you have to
Capital
buy
gain account.
government bonds.
Government bonds,
But the
yeah.
point is the lock-in period and
Is
rate of
quite a
returns
lot.
on those bonds are so dismal.
Yes.
It is better to pay tax and rest money invest in equity.
Invest in equity. Right.
Indexation benefit is still there, right? Indexation benefit.
Indexation, two things are there, no, sir. Either you can take indexation or you can pay the whole tax.
It is, I think, after the last year's budget, I think, after that the indexation has been taken off. They changed, right.
One thing
I
I
just
want-
wanted to ask, Vicky, according to me, if you sell a property and buy whatever house and buy a house within 1 year, then you don't have to buy any bonds or anything. 1 year. So that you don't have to buy the bonds in the in between period.
Bonds are, you don't have to.
Returns are very dismal, so it is prudent to pay the tax, and then whatever the remaining after tax that you invest in mutual funds, you'll get more returns than the bond returns.
Any other questions from the
I think
audience?
there is a limit also to what number of house it is. Means if you already have 2-3 houses and then
See,
you
if you have 3 houses, you are selling your third house, then it is not applicable. But if you have 2 houses, selling your second house and buying another second, then it is good.
One thing I would like to add, I mean, about Nachiket sir was talking about this thing, कि ट्रेडिंग का जो इनकम है दैट इज नॉट एन इनकम, मतलब वो इनकम कैपिटल गेन वाला. व्हाट आई सी एक्चुअली ट्रेडिंग और इन्वेस्टिंग में है ना, पैसा मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं, पैसा कमाया नहीं जाता. It has to be multiplied. So basically one has to have a good corpus to do trading or investing. और उसके लिए या जो other ventures थे, I mean that is something what I want to share few of my thoughts. So there are a lot of hustles which you can do. Lot of people, they have, you know, many of the people, they have their passion is about cooking, you know. तो कुकिंग के अच्छे खासे रेसिपीज है, वीडियोस है, दे शेयर on YouTube channels and those are going viral. They are making good income from there. One of the pediatrician I know is very good at guitar. So he has created a course of guitar playing and he has made a selling page, and that selling page is linked to his YouTube channel. So he plays some guitar, his YouTube, and he, whenever he gets views, the people are directed to his selling page that if they want to buy that course, one time he has worked to create that course and he is monetizing this for a lifelong. So a lot of such kind of things are doable, but then for that we need to have that vision of thinking beyond our practice, beyond our profession, and that can make a lots and lots of income source. Okay? And that followed by that, you know, we can use share market or trading, investing to multiply our incomes. Yeah. So that hustles one can look for.
I think we can finish off the felicitation.
I think we'll start with the felicitation of the moderator, Dr. Nikhil Shah. Dr. Sheetal, please come. I invite Dr. Manohar sir and Dr. Karthik sir to come for the felicitation, please. मैं देखा भाग रहे थे आप. I invite panelists to come up.
I request to felicitate our panelists, Dr. Santosh Jaibhai sir, Dr. Rajiv Borlefwar, Dr. Nachiket Jadhav, Dr. Maulik Shah, Dr. Avinash Bhatt sir, Dr. Jyoti Saigaonkar madam, Dr. Samir Pradhan sir, Dr. Samir Shah sir, Dr. Parul Shah madam,
thank Stan Pharma for exclusive sponsorship for today's program. Whatever contribution they have made has made a valuable difference today. Thank you. And I thank all the participants, all the faculties and delegates to make this event a successful.